Boom. Guess what? We are live. We are live. Okay. Let me just grab a couple of things and we can get busy. Guess what? Okay. Wow. How is everyone doing? My goodness. You guys get me every time I go on. Why is that? Why is that? Wow. Before I can hook up and all this other stuff, I get in here and wham, I get hit. Good to see everybody. Mm, mm, mm. When there's smoke, there's going to be fire. That is for sure. My documentation together here. Going to get things going tonight. Hold on. Mm. Good to see everyone. And you know how we do. Black Swan, Cha Brady, Stephanie, Terry Furman, Johnny Mae Wallace, Cole Pepsi, Keisha, Briant Reed, Old School for Life, Linda Truman, Kimberly, Nana OG, Pat Hampton, Angela Thompson, Stephanie Harding, Lady Tia T Shirts and Design, Beverly Palmer. All right. I am so glad to see everyone. Angela Thompson tonight. I wanted to grab this over here. Get on here tonight. Yesterday was Super Bowl, so I got tied up. Sorry about that. Regina Johnson, Feisty 60. And I said, wait a minute, I can't go live tonight. Super Bowl. Had to push it up and make it for tonight. Anyway, humble lady, how are you? I hope everyone had a good weekend. I certainly did. Spent some time with the family. Got my notes together for tonight's live. Machiavelli, British, Leah Power. How you doing? Beverly Ruth, Sugar T. We're going to be getting into some really tight information tonight. And it's based on a lot of the work that we've already covered. H Town, Shell, how you doing? Aaron Goodman. Glad everyone can make it. Oh my goodness, I got all this stuff on my table. all these notes and information that we're going to cover. So, with that said, Kenneka Hardiman, free game, Peyton Place, humble lady, welcome. You know, when I come on, we're going to get down to some stuff. Too pretty, Mrs. Kitty, how are you? K Money, K Money in the house, spoken words. First time to pretty Miss Kitty. Okay, well, welcome, Miss Kitty. Mrs. Kitty, I should say. Tamika Hardiman, good to see everyone doing well. I don't play music whenever I go live, if you notice. I don't do that. I'm not going to bore you with music. I don't know what you like, so I ain't going to come there. I'm not going to go there. Cold Pepsi, how you doing, love? Deborah Montgomery, how you doing, love? Anyway, we're going to get into tonight's live, which it took me some time to actually put together. I had 7 different titles that well, 7 different subjects I wanted to talk about, but I had to pick one. So tonight we're going to be getting into what I deem is the most important in the case that we're, covering, and it concerns the Crown Plaza Hotel. There's been a lot of information that's been put out on YouTube over the weekend, even the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to hit on a couple of points that I felt was important and necessary to get into tonight's live. Marion Miner, Tony Strail, you're sassy, rare breed. Welcome. And so I picked tonight's subject because it's most important. Carolyn Morgan, how you doing? Sandra, just Sandra, how are you? And wanted to get into, I guess, some points in the case that are relevant. A lot of people have been talking about different things at different times concerning different people at different places, and it all adds to the case. Overall, complete. And that's good because we need that. We need that. Boss Blake, what's up, brother? Rayanne S, how you doing, love? And so I would rather take my time to get into saying hello to you rather than play music and wait for everybody to come in and do, the nonchalant and stuff, because you make what we do possible. That's key. So I don't play music. I'm not going to give you any grandstand, opening and stuff. I'd rather talk to you one on one. Let's get to it. Let's get with it so we can get down to business. Douglas Anderson, how you doing, brother? Douglas is a content creator. Call him the Black Columbo. Welcome. Boss Blake, my man, content creator. Welcome. And so tonight we're going to get into a couple of things that I felt was important to get into. DD, how you doing? Selena Cohen, second degree black belt. We got black belts in here. I got bodyguards in here. Whoa. Thank you, Selena. We got some bodyguards in here now. Good, good, good. Good to hear that. I need bodyguards. So over the weekend, we have, I guess, come across a lot of information pertaining to this case, and in such a way that more and more, I guess, each day, it's developing to a point to where this case is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes. Thank goodness, because all we try to do is keep Kenneka's name alive on social media and in a way that it says a lot about us. It says a lot about us. There's a love on social media that most people overlook, and that's the kind of love of care and concern that a lot of people just overlook. And so it's crazy. A lot of the stuff that's been put out there on social media is crazy. It sends us on a spin. We don't know what's true, what's false, what's real, what's fact, what's fiction. And so we keep digging and digging and digging. Every time a Kenneka Jenkins video shows up or someone goes live, we go digging. Let's see what they know. Let's see what they give. Is it the truth or is it something sideways? And the majority of what's been put out there, the majority, I'd say 60%, give or take, 70 at best, is sideways. And I say that only because not that I'm a content creator and I'm checking the information against my investigation, but I'm checking the information based on other content creators that we're following for the best information. And a lot of it is sideways to the information that the key content creators, and I name them off on my channel, that are following, and it makes our job hard. It does. It's frustrating, but that's something we have to deal with in this case. Something we've always dealt with in this case. Sweet Pea, how you doing? Hater 890, how you doing? Kimmy Rose, Avasolo, welcome. And it's hard for us to follow a straight track. And we kind of wonder why sometimes. Why isn't this following a straight track like what we would normally see on TV if there is an investigation going on, it, you know, concerning detectives trying to root out a case and trying to make common sense out of it, get to the facts, and get to a conclusion in the case that's either going to be resolved or it to be closed, or a cold case to where it's going to remain idle. This case has been a phenomenon. Cynthia Sin, how you doing? Teeny Green, how you doing? And we're just taking a little bit of a moment to get into opening up tonight's live uh, because that's what we've been coming across. A lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth information regarding this case. And you don't know whether to make heads or tails out of it. So we tried to give you the best information that we can find. And those content creators, the ones that I've mentioned, take their time to get the information, to get the facts. They're not on here every day putting out 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 different videos, minute here, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, and give you sound bites. Enough going on right now, especially after 2.5 years. There's enough going on right now with this case to be teased by sound bites. They can really tell you nothing in 2 to 3 minutes after it's taken us 2.5 years. You see where I'm going? So be careful on where you get your information from because it is important. We are getting closer to a lot of key information right now because everything is hot and it's only going to get hotter going forward. Beyond Beauty, how you doing, love? Welcome. So for the 122 people that are in my live tonight, much love, respect to you for showing up as you always do to get the facts, to get solid information. And I hope that before I'm done tonight, we cover some solid information that will prevent any kind of misinformation, misdirection going forward. A lot of that has been going on, and it drives us crazy. Drives me crazy anyway. I'm sure it does you. Zazzy, how you doing? And so I've been working with content creators behind the scenes, and we've been going back and forth, whether it be an email or it could be a text message, it could be a phone call. I've been all on all three for the past couple of weeks and since the last time I spoke to you. And we've been fine tuning a lot of the information. Jennifer, Rebecca, truth be told, how you doing? And a lot of the information that we've been sharing with each other is getting to a clear cut edge, a point to where we all agree. We've got some superior content creators coming out with some good information. And tonight I'm going to share some new content creators that have been putting out that information, keeping us focused on the truth, because that's exactly what this case is all about, the truth, because that's the only way to get justice. Would you agree, little mama? Nikki, welcome. Isha Gabor, welcome. Eat, 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 eat. Welcome. Dark and lovely, welcome. So, with that said, and I've spent some time welcoming everyone to tonight's live, which I always try to take the time out to do because you make what we do possible. without you wanting to know what the facts are, following every content creator that you can find on YouTube and Facebook and Snapchat, Instagram, and so forth, trying to get down to the bottom of this story and where it's going, you keep the story alive. You keep Kenneka's name alive. So much love goes out to every single one of you in my chat room, my subscribers, new subscribers, and people just learning about what we're doing. Thank you. This is very important. My love goes out to every single one of you. You show love to me, keeping me on the case and on my toes, 10 toes down, they say, and getting to the root of it. I'm not just here for show and tell. I'm here for the truth. I'm here to get to a point to where what we do makes a difference. I called the last couple of months content creators to come together to make a playlist of all of their work and put it in a playlist so that this way, when we make contact with the authorities, they have some place to go, they have a person of reference, and they have work to review to get this case reopened. We're moving forward. And mind you, we're starting to make some headway. We have touched base with several authorities since my call to the content creators. And I have personally made mention of what we're doing on YouTube and on Facebook. And we do have at least several authorities' attention right now. Now, I'm in New York, so those are the authorities that I can talk to, and I'm not talking to them on the computer. I'm going out face to face to meet with these authorities. We have what is called the state building, would be a small part of the State Department of the United States, where you have uh, city officials, criminal investigation divisions, you have the mayor, you have all sorts of local politicians all in one building. So I've been going back and forth over the last, what, month and a half, talking, and we have got some attention now on several different fronts. Suggestions have been made for the playlist by several of them for us to put our work together on YouTube in a playlist. And when they're ready and when their time frees up, they'll take a look at what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. And so far, we've made some inroads. That I can tell you thus far. But I do like receipts. So we're going to be showing you some receipts coming up. I just want to get confirmation because these receipts are in the form of emails since we started. Yeah, we've been making inroads. Thank goodness. And it's only because of you, the subscribers and the content creators that's in this case. I am so happy to report that. So with that said, I can't give you details at this point because it's in motion. And the best part about it is that it touches my heart to finally know after 2.5 years I got some people here in New York that's got their ears open and they're listening to what we're saying. So wherever you are, whether you be in New York, Chicago, Texas, Florida, Detroit, California, Arizona, anywhere you may be, put your playlist together. We're going to be getting some attention on this for sure. I don't want to be telling them that I'm just the only one. So let's go. For you content creators who are at the reach and sound of my voice right now, put together your best work in a playlist. Let's go to where we were before. I'm going to share my screen as I did before. So we can do it again. And I think, yeah, Dark and Lovely, we're going to get there. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Let's share my screen. There you are. You got my page. You got my page. And here are my playlists. And the one we want is right here. KJ case video file for review by authorities. It doesn't take but about 10-15 minutes to put your work in an isolated playlist right here, right here. And when you can go to the playlist, like we're doing tonight, you can see what pops up, which is your work. Once you have your work in the playlist, it's simple to review. Every single one of my videos that I've done since day one, and since this month is February, I've been putting work on YouTube for the last year. For the last year. And what I want them to see is all of my playlist. Every single one of my videos. And that's what the content creators call is all about. Just put your work together. Pick the best information you want to share, put it in a playlist. KJ case video file for review by authorities so they can pinpoint it right away and take a look. Let them take a look. That's all. Because if it can help to move someone or something in their office to make a move toward reopening the case, it's well worth it. Why put out all this hard work in the last 2.5 years on YouTube or on Facebook or Snapchat, Instagram, etc., and not have it reviewed, not have it looked at for real by the right people, not just by, people sitting out and just wondering how the case is going on and stuff. But yeah, put it out there for real. Be for real. I think I was in Jennifer M. the Realist's chat room early this morning, Wow, 6 o'clock. And she's talking about fake and real in her chat. And I can relate. And fake and real, and fake and real. Jennifer broke it down. It's enough. The fake's got to go. The real's got to show, is what she said. And so by putting your work in a playlist, getting it on YouTube, and who knows who's going to take a look at it anytime, any minute, any day to review this case to possibly reopen it. I need not tell you how important that is. So, yes, we've got some eyes starting to open now. Your help is needed. And this is important because every time that I've done a live, I've mentioned it. So, there, we've covered part number one of tonight's live. This is so important. We're starting to get some attention, not only where I am, but that's going to start to reach into Chicago very shortly. Teresa Martin's negligence trial is coming up this year, whether you knew that or not. It is coming up this year. And from all the subpoenas and all the depositions, all of the video surveillance footage that we've been given, her attorneys have, all of the Rosemont Police Department's narratives, they have, all of the photographs that were taken of Kenneka in the freezer, they have, they have all of them. They have all of them. They have the previous attorney's notes, and they've got new information going forward. This case is going to trial, bar none. When I bring you back, look at the chat. Yeah, we're making headroads and we're making headway in a lot of directions, and people need to know that. Well, that's why I'm here. Keep my eyes and ears open, my heart to the ground, and I'm feeling the pulse. We're moving forward, and the content creators know that. And I want to let all of my subscribers, as well as the other content creators, subscribers, know that, because this is about to explode somewhere between April and May of this year in regards to the trial that's coming up. No one's talking about the trial because they're not looking at the trial. They're just looking at continuing showing you videos, showing you the 36-hour footage, showing you the freezer photos, etc., etc., etc. Well, we've already been through that the last 2 years. Well, my job is to keep looking forward and moving us forward and pushing forward to get better answers, better information, better results, so that this way we're on point. So we are. We are. So tonight, I want to, because enough is enough. How much can you go through? We've been through it. We've been through it. And every time you see a video that comes out, or a live that's well over, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5, 6 hours long, just to give you 2 minutes of information that you could have, I mean, wow, it's incredible. But yes, we're at the heartbeat of this case. And I thank God we are. when you have a calling and you know what that calling is, God will always tell you where to go, how to be, and what to say. God will always tell you where to go, how to be, and what to say. I feel very blessed in telling you that. So, with that said, let's get to work. I think we have what we're supposed to tonight. Sharing the screen. What did I want to do? What did I want to do? Okay. Well, let's go here. And we went there. Please put your work in a playlist on your page on YouTube so we can move forward. Be checking it over the next couple of weeks because I need to know what to tell the authorities that I've got the attention of here in New York, where to go and who's on board. Okay, moving forward. I want to give a major shout out to, as I said before, the one and only Jennifer M. the realist. Major content creator. Linda Truman, how you doing? Major content creator and telling it like it is. She's on this case and reading and reviewing all of what she can to deliver it early in the morning. Jennifer's up at least by 5, 6 a.m., and that would be my time, New York time, wherever you are. And she goes live, or she does a video, but she's been recently going live because of a lot of activity on YouTube. And she talks about the fake and the phony and what to watch out for. Much love to you, Jennifer and the realist. You are for real. My heart goes out to you, your platform, all of your subscribers for really hunkering down and not being fooled by a lot of stuff that's been put out there. That's crazy. Under the name of Kenneka Jenkins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Without that, let's see who else we got. Gonna go down here, open them up, and give you just a progress on a lot of the content creators that have been working hard just the past week. Another one has been, obviously, Chaos Sector. Recent video regarding the party ties live. He's been covering that information to the bone, to the bone. As you can see here, just 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 6 days ago, 6 days ago, 6 days ago, just back to back, coming out with brand new information and content that's very important for us all to stay on top of. Thank you, Chaos Sector, for just being a beast, being a beast. Another one, obviously, I mentioned before, is one of the content creators that has just been on top of everything is Jackie Draken. And Jackie has been putting out content, which I'm sharing right now. And as you can see, there's 3 days ago concerning Rosemont and the mob. 5 days ago, talking about the surveillance cameras, killer in slow motion, lies and lies on top of lies. In this case, the corruption that's going on in Rosemont, and so much more. Great content, great content. Going forward, see if I can get my arrow to work. I think I can do it this way. Going down the line, Unc Fed. Unc Fed has been coming out with content back to back to back to back to back to back in this case, because he's reviewing his files right now. He's going over a lot of the upfront information that he got at the beginning of the case and bringing it back alive. I was hanging out with him late last night into early this morning, and he's covering a lot of good information to remind us of where we came from. So, Unc Fed, much love to you, bro, for doing that. Much love. There is another YouTuber out there called the X Factor. Now, it's a small channel, but this this gentleman has been covering a lot of good information pertaining to the politics of Chicago and the Kenneka Jenkins case. How this case has affected politics in Chicago, politicians, the offices of the mayor, and so on, as well as the police department. So yes, X Factor, thank you for making a contribution to the Kenneka Jenkins case, because it's good to hear a brand new perspective, being that you are a young channel of 20 subscribers, uh, putting it out there. Thank you so much for making your contribution. Also, we've got another content creator I wanted to mention before, but I will mention tonight. Uh, we would deem him the Black Columbo in the Kenneka Jenkins case, and that is Douglas Anderson. Has been putting out content uh, in this case that is giving us information on how to get the case reopened. And he is zeroing in on areas of the video surveillance footage and the people that are involved in the footage, to where he's giving us some great information as to where we are and what will open this case up, what will get this case reopened. So much love to you, Douglas Anderson, for stepping out and putting this information out there, because not a lot of people know that this information exists. I appreciate the work that you put out there, because you understand what the overall objective is concerning the J4K content creators team. We're looking to get this case reopened, and people are starting to focus in that area. Thank you so much, Douglas, for your patience, your time, and your energy to put together the information that you did. I have heard from another content creator just this week, which was I Have Questions team. And they are in the midst of delivering some new information based on a lot of the information that they're able to get. But not only that, but they're going to be putting together a very special video piece regarding their work and getting it over on their channel for the authorities to review. Much love to you, IHQ team, for being such a team player and staying on board, staying with us, and delivering some very absolutely remarkable information as well as work in this case. Thank you so much. Let me see if there's anybody else. I've got to give another shout out to Straight Drop, the investigator. On his page, he's covering some extraordinary information pertaining to the exec files. Like I said before in my last live, he's dwindled it down to where he can actually show you how to change the time on the video player. And he's working it through step by step, taking everyone through how this video footage can be edited and remasked to look like something else. Much love and a big shout out to Straight Drop for staying on the beam. And Straight Drop is a veteran at best who really opened my eyes and ears to this case early when it first came out, to be the one to sit on his couch with two cell phones, his and his girlfriend's, and deliver the information as he was getting it, and going over the surveillance footage and the photos and everything as best as he could to get his channel to where it is today. So big shout out to Straight Drop. We're with you, man. We're with you. And to really keep the falsehoods out off of YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you, Straight Drop. Let me see. Who else do we have? And I think that would be it for uh, the ones I wanted to cover with you. But there is a special YouTuber that I'm going to highlight tonight. Let's see if I can find who. Got to go down. And that YouTuber I've just recently contacted, which is a content creator on their platform, and that is a content creator that has put out work early in this case that, to say the least, has done absolutely excellent work. And that is a content creator by the name of Thriller Media. And Thriller Media is a content creator that has done a magnificent job in putting together multi-cam video surveillance footage of the night Kenneka went missing. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. This content creator is not in the United States, by the way, and they've been following the case since its inception, and was able to utilize the technology that they had, available, and put together some extraordinary work. Matter of fact, do this and bring it up. And I'd like for, yeah, and it's called Kenneka Jenkins, A Moment in Time. And here you have what they've been able to put together. If I can just get this here and just blow it up for you. And bigger, so everyone can. I think I can. Sorry about the, okay. And this is what it looks like. I don't know if my sound is an issue, but type a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. This is a multi-cam simultaneous video review. Sean Perkins, how you doing? And to come close to seeing everything at one time in various different locations is not easy. And what he was able to do was to give us a multicam video view of all the locations where the cameras are activated to go off that reflect movement throughout the hotel. So I have this on my channel. It is in a playlist exclusively to Thriller Media that has put out this video footage. I strongly suggest when you get a chance, go to my channel. You'll find it under Thriller Media and take a very, very good look at the work that Thriller Media has done to bring us this information because it is extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary to take a look at. If I can, let me just give you just a little bit of a preview as to what it looks like. As you can see, the clock running up above, and this is at the 3:20 mark in the morning. And you can actually see each video camera synced up with the other and being activated by motion within the hotel itself. And now you can get to see a multi-dimensional view of what was going on at the hotel during this time. So this is just to give you an idea as to the video work uh, that was performed and done by Thriller Media way back in 2018 regarding the time line in this case. So phenomenal work by Thriller Media. I just wanted to show you a little sample of his work and that I've been in contact with him and he is in London. He's going to be putting out new footage, going to be updating his website, excuse me, his channel with new footage concerning the video. So yeah, Thriller Media. And obviously, as you can see, this was put out March 22nd of 2018. 2018. So big shout out to Thriller Media for putting this information out to help us really, really get into the case uh, in a way to where we can actually see in various different locations what was going on at the Crown Plaza Hotel on September the 8th into the 9th, the early morning of the 9th, regarding what happened to Kenneka. So, with that said, much love to Thriller Media. They're going to be watching this video live presentation that I'm giving tonight from London, actually, overseas, and later contact me in reference to following up with me. So, yeah, use this as a tool for your own education to follow a lot of the activity that was going on at the Crown Plaza Hotel from Friday night into Saturday morning until they found Kenneka on the 10th. So major shout out to Thriller Media for that. I wanted to share that with you so that this way you would have some additional tools to work with, as well as the 360-degree aeroscan view of the upper kitchen. And you'll also find his video footage pertaining to that. You can actually take a look in a three-dimensional way at how the upper kitchen looked during the time they did the scan review in the upper kitchen by the Rosemont Police Department. So wanted to make sure I got that in there for you tonight. All right. A moment in time. You can go to my channel and you can find that folder. It's got 4 independent videos in it. And then you can go to his channel for any further video review that you want to do independently from what I have there. I wanted to make sure you got that. All right. So where am I? Whew. Well, so far, so good. We're doing good in terms of time. All right. So I'm going to go back. And this is to complement all of the information that we have today. It's to help us to move forward. Help us to move forward. My computer's a little bit slow, so I'm just going to drop this out. Type a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, just to make sure that we're still good for sound. Just to make sure we're still good for sound. What else? Just to make sure we're good for sound. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Rose, Tamika, Coco, Carlene, Sweet Pea, Chicky Cannon. How you doing, love? Patricia, Stephanie, Feisty 60, Deborah Montgomery, Linda Truman, Dee Walsh, Chacha Brady, Pat Hampton, Mika, Douglas Anderson, Watch Out Squad. Watch Out Squad. Okay, brother, Watch Out Squad. Content creator for the J4K community is in the house. Brooke Valentine, CEO, another brand creation. Welcome, love. I didn't know I had this many people up in here. Well, I can't see the chat right now, so, but I'm working off of secondary device. C. Jacobs, welcome. Sean Perkins. Oh, triple one. Okay, you had to be different. I hear you loud and clear. Coco's finest. Thank you. Dark and Lovely, thank you for moderating tonight, for tonight's live. Much love to you. Dark and Lovely. Perry Hinton, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on. Because sometimes if I play anything or if anything moves, my computer does freeze up. All right, so let's go to, I think the last time we got together, we talked about the MTV television episode, Mommy of One, Love You Too. Love you too. Thank you for joining us. We talked about the MTV episode regarding the information, the 42 minutes of information that they put out on MTV. Karen Smith, how are you? CME 92. I didn't realize that I had all these people up in here. My goodness. And we were able to review in our last live a lot of the information that they covered, but there still remains questions as to the three individuals that we've covered in the lives right afterwards. That's Irene, Monifa, and Shemaya. And we have Thriller Media in the chat room, content creator. Said, John Q, thanks again. I appreciate you taking the time to review my channel. God bless you. You're welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Thank you for putting in your time and effort in creating that valuable piece of information that now we can all take a look at and get an idea as to what was going on September the 8th into the 9th until they found Kenneka. Thank you so much, Julie Media, for sharing that with us. I told you I was going to put you on blast. Tracy Tatum, how you doing? Anyway, we got to review the lives that Irene, Monifa, and Shemaya did the last time we were live. And there were a lot of questions as to Irene's, I guess, particular situation. And her situation put her in a box, mind you. And the box that she put herself in was this. She said that Kenneka was her best friend. And she was crying and emotionally giving us how she felt about Kenneka and what happened on September the 8th into the early morning of the 9th before Kenneka went missing. And she told us that she was laying down on the bed, sleeping or resting off from being inebriated, and that she provided her safety during that time she was laying down. However, when Monifa, 5 minutes later, and that's according to the Zach TV interview that Irene had with Zach at the time that she was, 5 minutes later, she said that Monifa walked over to Kenneka and picked her up off the bed and removed her from the bed, inebriated, and took her outside into the hallway by herself. By herself. After Monifa took Kenneka outside to the hallway for whatever reason that was, because they weren't going anywhere, Shemaya went behind them to find out what was going on with Kenneka and Monifa. And we were told by Shemaya out in the hallway, obviously, that Kenneka was inebriated. She was sitting on the floor with her knees up and her head down between her knees, and she wanted to know what was going on with Kenneka at that time. And Kenneka told her she did not want to go back into the room. Maya asked Kenneka, well, where's your phone and where's your keys? And Kenneka told Shemaiah, according to Shemaiah's Live, Kenneka told her that the phone was inside the room and that Bree had her keys. And that Kenneka did not want to go back into the room. So she told Shemaiah to go get her phone, and Shemaiah went back into the room to get her phone. Once she was there, David Dewberry, how you doing, bro? Once she was there, and she spoke to Irene, asking her a question about where Kenneka's phone was, and that she was there to collect Kenneka's phone. And Irene wanted to know where they were going. And Irene said, where are you guys going? Because she didn't know where they were going. Because knowing that Bree had the keys, nobody was going anywhere. Where was Shemaiah and Monifa and Kenneka going without the car keys? It's a very good question. Where the hell were you guys going? So that those lives told us a lot. And I would definitely emphatically inform everyone to review those lives carefully because they told a lot more than we got way in the beginning. Way in the beginning. About what was going on, not only at the party, but outside that hotel room door. On the 9th floor, outside of room 926 and room 924 by these young ladies. We covered that information. Going back, wanted to make sure that we posted a disclaimer and getting into some additional information with you tonight because there are a lot of folks are catching up to this case. You want to know the facts, you got to go where the facts are. Anyone covering this case will be able to show you facts, not tell you facts, show you facts. Don't just have a conversation with me, show me what you're talking about. Does that make sense? Don't just have a conversation with me, show me what you're talking about. Put a receipt on your screen so that this way I can see what you're talking about. If that makes sense to everyone in the live tonight, just post a 1 in the chat room just to let me know that we're on the same page before I move on. I'll go ahead and wait because this is important. Just type a 1 because this is important. You want to get receipts, period. End of story. Anybody talking about this case without a receipt disqualifies themselves from talking about the case. Yeah. Why waste your time trying to figure out what it is that someone else is talking about when they can't produce a receipt? That's right. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. That's right. Because that's what we've been following for the last 2 years. Some content creators can show receipts. God bless them, and thank God they do that. And then there are some content creators that just love to talk, not help you to identify what it is that they're trying to tell you, what they're trying to inform you about. So the new rule going forward, just to really curb a lot of that stuff, is show the receipt. Don't tell me what you're talking about. Show me what you're talking about. And that makes sense. That makes sense to stop a lot of the misinformation that's out there by a lot of different YouTubers that can't produce, that can't deliver. Go with a receipt, and therefore you can actually look it up online on your computer. Tell me where to get that from so I can review it for myself. If it's on Facebook, look it up. If it's on YouTube, look it up. If it's on Google, look it up. And make sure that you get the facts directly yourself and stop relying on outside sources to try to tell you what they think they know without knowing for sure. And it only makes sense because that's the rule of thumb I follow. That's a rule of thumb that I follow, and you should too. It's to protect yourself from being misled. You know, Jalen Ford is now Irene Roberts, and Irene Roberts is now Jalen Ford. There were 5 different Kennekas at the party. There are 7 dudes in black we don't know about, and all this stuff. Here's some new video footage that you didn't see, or new information that you didn't get. Before you believe in anything, take your time, get the information, and then do your research personally and privately yourself. Check out the security guard. Check out the assistant food and beverage manager. Check out uh, anything that went on in this case that's coming out that's new or fresh or has been told before. Just check it out for yourself. And I guarantee you'll be able to blow it away, or you'll be able to incorporate it into the storyline. It takes a lot of courage and effort to do that, but only the ones that are after the truth will. I believe that everyone in my chat tonight will move forward with that guide to prevent yourself from being misled and to prevent the misinformation from interfering with a lot of the information that's relevant. Okay? All right. So let's keep moving. I think we're doing good on time. All right. Okay. Hopefully this will work. While I wait for it to boot up, it's good to see everyone. It's good to see everyone, chatting amongst each other. My platform does not have any drama, if you notice. And if there is, well, I do have specific moderators that I have selectively chosen to just eliminate a lot of the interruptions. I don't have interruptions in my chat. All right, so this is taking a long time to come up for some strange reason. Okay. Hopefully I can get to it. Trying to get to it. Okay. All right. Sometimes things drag and lag sometimes when you're working off a desktop. So no, you're welcome, Brooke. Brooke Valentine, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to wanting to know what you need to know in order not to be misled by a whole lot of stuff that's out there. Thank you, love. It's enough. It's enough. We're getting close to the truth, and it's enough of the garbage. Just my opinion. Okay. So, how many of y'all see the picture that is right now on the screen? Just type a one so I can move on. Just a quick one so that this way we can move on. And I appreciate all of you being here tonight. Leah Power, thank you. Okay. So right now we have a picture of the upper kitchen and the assistant food and beverage manager, which happens to be Lenny Posius, the last name. And we have Rosemont police officer Jeremy Walsh. Crown Plaza delivered video footage over to the Rosemont Police Department and gave them this footage. This footage we've seen 1,000 times, maybe more so than none. And so, with that said, I wanted to take us step by step through the death investigation that was done because it's very important to isolate certain pieces of information that's critical to this case. Critical. Now, a number of content creators have shown you this video footage over and over and over and over again, and they have given you their best opinion based upon what they see, based upon the information that they've been able to acquire. So here we have, at a specific time of 25 minutes after 12 on the 10th, when they found Kenneka in the upper kitchen in the freezer. And this was the first responding officer on location. The food and beverage manager walked straight to the freezer. And in my opinion, I believe that was a staged event for us to believe that's what they wanted us to believe. And in so doing, I try to get through this. And in so doing, they wanted us to believe, oh, come on. And now it's not letting me show what I want to show. I'm trying to get through it. I hope this will let me do it. This is important. Wow. Guess YouTube is trying to be a little funky with me right now. Yeah, YouTube is being a little funky with me right now. It appears as though, ah, okay. All right, I kind of figured that. Let me see if I can find it a different way. Sorry for the delay. I'm hoping that I can find it a different way. See if I can do this. Okay, just want to double check and be sure. How many of y'all see the video that's playing before you right about now? Just let me know. Type of one. Trying to get it to go. And let me know if my sound is good as well. So here you have the food and assistant food and beverage manager and the first responding police officer entering and now exiting the upper kitchen after finding Kenneka in the freezer. Okay, thank you. And I hope my sound is coming in good. Now, after they leave, you will see a broken protocol in a death investigation upon finding a victim of circumstance, which is this police officer, PSO Jeremy Walsh, going back into the kitchen by himself, going to the freezer alone in a crime scene. For what reason, we do not know. But what we do know is that we have him on video surveillance footage by himself. He exits the kitchen, and then he summons his supervisor along with other Rosemont Police Department officers, and they re-enter the kitchen together to investigate the crime scene. And here you have what is called as a crime scene protocol breach. It is a breach. It is the beginning of the contamination of the crime scene as you see it. Officer after officer after officer enters that area and continues to contaminate the area when that breaches the protocol of investigation. Moving things out of place, as you can see, and so forth. Okay. I wanted to show you that so that this way you'd get a clear picture as to how that upper kitchen was infiltrated by the Rosemont Police Department during the time they had located Kenneka Jenkins in the upper kitchen on the main floor, the back of the hotel. Okay. And what had occurred on video surveillance footage. We have them on footage that they could not edit at all. Now, what you see before you is, guess what? We were able to pinpoint a manual from 2013 regarding law enforcement death investigation crime scene protocol from the website. And from that website, we're going to cover some information regarding the protocol that they should have followed but didn't. Okay? All right. In the protocol, which was updated at that time, 2017, we have to remember we're in 2017, it was revised to 2030 and not revised since then. Chicago, as well as other states in the country. In fact, the last update to the guide was developed and approved by the review committee on September of 2012. Okay. I'm just going to just scroll down some of the table of contents so that this way you'll be able to see what we're about to cover. I'm not going to cover the whole book, that's for sure, but I'm going to cover with you the crime scene protocol itself. And within the content of this manual, you'll be able to begin to see what the protocol for crime scene investigation is yourself. Document actions and observations, establishing a command post, conducting scene assessments, walkthrough and initial documentation, note taking, sketching, photography, videography, etc., etc. prioritizing collection of evidence, crime scene search methods, collect, preserve, inventory, package, transport, and submit evidence, detail crime scene evidence collection, and so forth. All of it is documented in this manual, and it's called the Crime Scene Protocol. Police, detectives, investigators must follow protocol regarding documents, firearms, ammunition, tool mark evidence, trace evidence, footwear, tire impressions, motor vehicles, electronic and digital evidence, fingerprints, comparison and elimination prints, tool marks, etc. And I wanted you to see that because we're about to get into some forensic information regarding death investigation or crime scene investigation as to how the Rosemont Police Department, as well as police departments across the country, should perform in a standard fashion following protocol and procedure. Let us begin. I'm going to skip all the accolades in the manual and get right to the meat of the steak. And hence, we see before us information pertaining to protocol. That protocol is section A, B, C, D, E, and so forth. And in that protocol, it says arriving at the scene, initial response and prioritization of efforts, preliminary documentation and evaluation of the scene, processing the scene, completing and recording the crime scene investigation, crime scene equipment. Let's continue. Authorization. Action taken pursuant to this guide shall be performed in accordance with department policies and procedures and federal and state law. I'm just going to be getting to a specific element of this manual because it's very important for us as non-law enforcement legal people to understand what powers the police and authority have in regards to a crime scene and what they should do. And it only makes sense if you're doing an investigation is to follow where the investigation leads you. Common sense. That's all. And so arriving at the scene, the initial response and prioritization of efforts are going to come to principles of investigation. Principles of investigation. And one of the principles of investigation that you're basically going to come across in this manual is one of the most important aspects of securing the crime scene is to preserve the scene with minimal contamination and disturbance of physical evidence. The initial response to an incident should be expeditious and methodical. Now, the policy is the initial responding officer upon arrival shall access the scene and treat the incident as a crime scene. They shall promptly yet cautiously approach and enter the crime scene, remaining observant of any persons, vehicle, events, potential evidence, and environmental conditions. And it goes on to state the procedure as to how that is to come about. And note, I will be posting this this manual uh, in a link down below in the description box after the live is over, so you have a copy of it. So if we're going to do this together, we should be on the same page together. Don't you agree? And the procedure of the initial responding officer should note and log dispatch information pertaining to, as an example, address, location, time, date, type of call, parties involved. Be aware of any persons or vehicles leaving the crime scene. Approach the scene cautiously, scan the entire area to thoroughly assess the scene and note any possible secondary crime scenes. Be aware of any persons or vehicles in the vicinity that may relate to the crime. Make initial observations, look, listen, smell, to assess the scene and ensure officer safety before proceeding. Remain alert and attentive. Assume the crime is ongoing until determined otherwise. Treat the location as a crime scene until assessed and determined to be otherwise. Safely direct additional responding units to the area. Just to give you a little bit of an idea as to what the actual procedure in a crime scene is all about. So let me jump a little bit here, and it talks about safety procedures. I'm going to skip that. Emergency care, and I'm just going to skip that for now. You'll be able to read it later. Secure and control persons at a crime scene, and we're going to skip that because there are policies and procedures on that. But I wanted to get to item number 5 in the manual, which I felt relevant and very important to tonight's live. Okay. And here at point 5, we're going to cover one of the most important things that we've seen on video surveillance footage provided by Crown Plaza to the Rosemont Police Department, who provided it on their public safety website regarding the video surveillance footage that they gave us. And so, let us proceed. The principle of boundaries: identify, establish, protect, and secure. Defining and controlling boundaries provides a means for protecting and securing the crime scenes. The number of crime scenes and their boundaries are determined by their location and type of crime. Boundaries are established beyond the initial scope of the crime scene with the understanding that the boundaries can be reduced in size if necessary, but cannot be easily expanded. Now, the policy of it is that the initial responding officer at the crime scene shall conduct an initial assessment of the extent of the crime scene and then establish and control its boundaries. Now, we saw Rosemont Police Officer PSO Jeremy Walsh enter the upper kitchen the way he did with the food and beverage manager, the assistant that is, in a way that breaks this protocol. Let us continue. Arriving at the scene, initial response and prioritization. And we have to go to the procedure of that. I don't think any channel on YouTube has covered this information like we're going to tonight, because this is important. We need to know what the Rosemont Police Department's procedure and protocol is regarding a crime scene. So here it is. I wanted to present that tonight. Procedure: the initial responding officer should A. Establish boundaries of the scene, starting at a focal point and extending outward to include where the crime occurred, potential points and paths of the exit and entry of suspects and witnesses, places where the victim evidence may have been moved. Beware of trace and impression evidence while assessing the scene. Secure the scene. Point B. Set up physical barriers, ropes, cones, crime scene barrier tape, available vehicles, personnel, other equipment, or use existing boundaries such as doors, walls, and gates. But in this case, they never put up a barrier to the crime scene. What they did do was use the entire kitchen as a barrier to the crime scene. And this is why they didn't put up yellow tape at the crime scene. They used the entire kitchen. Document the entry slash exits of all people entering and leaving the scene once the boundaries have been established. And that had not been done. Protect the scene, control the flow of personnel and animals entering and leaving the scene to maintain integrity of the scene. Institute measures to preserve slash protect evidence that may be lost or compromised. Example, protect the elements such as rain, snow, wind, etc., and from footsteps, tire tracks, and sprinklers. Consider search and seizure issues to determine the necessity of obtaining consent to search and or obtain a search warrant. Well, they didn't have to do that in this case. But here's a special note. Persons should not smoke, chew, tobacco, use the phone or bathroom, eat or drink, move any items from the scene, including weapons, unless necessary for safety and well-being of persons at the scene. Adjust the thermostat or open windows or doors. Maintain scene as found. Touch anything unnecessarily, and if they did, note and document any items moved. Repositioned moved items, litter, or spit within the established boundaries of the scene. Do not allow suspects to use bathroom facilities or alter his or her appearance, including brushing hair or washing hands. So, what does that say? Well, case in point, establishing boundaries is a critical aspect in controlling the integrity of evidentiary material. And in this case, they broke protocol. Did they not? And if they did, type of one. Type of one. If you believe that the Rosemont Police Department broke the basic protocol for investigating a crime scene. Okay. Yeah, big time. Big time. Big time. All right. I want to get to, I think there was a part here, a different title, documentation, walkthrough, and then we're getting into other procedures. But I wanted to show you that and share that with you in reference to the basic element of a crime scene investigation. Which is very important because you and I, just being regular people, public citizens, we don't know the law like we should, number one. And number two, we don't know protocol and procedures when it comes to police investigations of any sort or of any kind. But I wanted to stop at the processing the scene because we witnessed Kenneka being moved back and forth in the freezer and why that was allowed. Why the evidence that was in the freezer was not collected. Why wasn't there any DNA collected from her body as well as the scene? Why wasn't there any fingerprints lifted and controlled and collected from the scene? There's a lot of questions there at the crime scene that needs to be answered. Hopefully, this live tonight with this information will be able to provide you with those answers. And as I said before, I will be posting this manual underneath the description so that this way you'll be able to download it for yourself and review what the protocol and procedures to a crime scene investigation is about. This is a basic manual. After reading it, you'll be able to understand exactly what the Rosemont Police Department did at the Crown Plaza Hotel on September the 9th, 2017, in the upper kitchen, the back end of the hotel. Processing the scene determines team composition. All right. So the principle of this is it is essential to a successful investigation to select a team of trained personnel to perform scene processing based on the type of incidents and complexity of the scene. Policy there is that the investigator in charge shall assess the scene to determine team composition and specialized resources required. Now, the procedure is follow the walkthrough investigator in charge. And following the walkthrough, the investigator in charge should, and this is simple, A, B, C, D, E. Assess the need for additional personnel. It should be aware of the need for any additional personnel in cases involving multiple scenes, multiple victims, numerous witnesses, or unique circumstances. B, assess forensic need and call forensic specialists to the scene for expertise and/or equipment. Ensure the scene's security and the entry/exit documentation are continued. You have to be sure of that. Select qualified persons or person to perform specialized tasks. Examples, photographs, sketches, latent prints, evidence collection, etc. Document team members and assignments. And the summary to this is very simple. The assessment of the scene or scenes determined the number of personnel and how responsibilities should be or will be assigned. Now we get to a good one, which is called ensure contamination control. How's everybody doing so far in the chat? This type of one. Are we good? Oh, one. Let me know. Let me know. We're almost done. This was critical and important to get out tonight. So we're into ensuring the contamination and control of the crime scene. The principles involved in this is very simple. Contamination control and preventing cross-contamination at a single or multiple scenes is essential to maintain the safety of personnel and the integrity of the evidence. The policy is that the investigator or investigators in charge shall require all personnel to follow procedures to ensure scene safety and evidence integrity. The procedures is very simple. Other responders and or team members should, let's go down the processing of the scene. Very simple. A, limit scene access to people directly involved in the scene processing. Follow established entry/exit routes at the scene. Identify first responders and consider collection of elimination samples. That they didn't do. Designate a secure area for trash and equipment. E, use personnel protective equipment, PPE, to prevent contamination of personnel and minimize scene contamination. They did not wear booties, safety equipment. The majority of them did not wear gloves or any hair equipment to prevent hair or any debris from their uniforms or bodies from contaminating the scene. F, clean/sanitize or dispose of tools, equipment, and personnel protective equipment between each item of evidence collected and or scenes. Utilize single-use equipment when performing direct collection of biological samples. Single-use equipment. That means if you touch something with, let's say, rubber gloves, and you're picking up and collecting a biological forensic DNA sample from a crime scene, you are to remove your gloves, discard them properly, and then put on fresh gloves to move on to the next piece of biological forensic collection. Isn't that something? And then documentation obviously is important. I wanted to skip that part. They go into sketching, in which they did. And as you can see, this is very detailed. Case number, crime type, victim name, name and ID of sketcher, name and ID of person verifying measurements, location of sketch, date completed, and so forth. And as you go through this manual, you'll be able to see a lot of what the protocol is about. And for us to be educated as to what that is only helps us to determine a lot about what was done and what wasn't done in the Kenneka Jenkins case at the Crown Plaza Hotel. So I'm going to post this in the description area for you so that this way you'll have that. But I just wanted to cover a little bit about this because I found it very interesting to not only read, but very, very knowledgeable in terms of what the police should have done but didn't do. You'll find this very fascinating. So I'm going to leave it at that. Any questions, or let's just say we good? We good? You want me to keep going? Type of 1. You want me to keep going? Type of 1. I got a little bit more to cover, and then I think we'll close it. Good stuff. Well, we're doing good. Okay. Yeah, if you're having a problem with the page and I seem to be breaking up or anything else like that, just refresh your page and come on back in. We got one piece of information. Oh, don't stop, John. Well, thank you, Machiavelli, British. Don't stop, John. Don't stop. Okay. All right. So what we have before you right now, okay, Thriller Media, I hear you. Keep going. I've made a cup of tea. I'm ready. I hear you. Much love to everyone that is with us tonight. This was important. I wanted to make sure that we got going forward so that this way we at least have an idea as to a lot of things that should have been done that weren't done, not only by the Rosemont Police Department, but also by the medical examiner's office. This is the part I want to get into because the medical examiner that showed up at the scene failed to do several things, as well as the medical examiner, the pathology fellow doctor who performed the autopsy on Kenneka failed to do certain things. I wanted to review this because this is an important aspect, critical aspect of the case that not many people are aware of or more or less take out the time to really read the autopsy and the toxicology report uh, as they should. There were several content creators on YouTube that did make a great attempt to actually go over the autopsy and toxicology report, only to leave questions still. But it's up to us to really get these documents, and I'll leave this also in the description for your education, to read so that this way you know for sure whether Kenneka's organs were intact or not, whether there was any organ removal in the autopsy or not. What did they test? What organs did they take, etc., etc. I'm just going to briefly go over this particular aspects. I did do so in part 7 of my video series, but I wanted to expound on a couple of pieces of information that I didn't really clear up and cover in part 7. So tonight's live is going to be a little bit of a treat. So with that said, let's go. Office of the Medical Examiner's Office, Cook County, County of Cook, Illinois. Report of post-mortem examination. This was under the name of Kenneka L. Jenkins, case number ME 2017-04241. This is a female, age 19, black. Date of death pronounced was September the 10th of 2017. Date death pronounced was September the 10th of 2017. Date examined September 10th, 2017 at 10 a.m. Keep that in mind as we go forward. Examined by Dr. Kirsten E. Howell, MD, and supervising medical examiner Kristen Escobar Alvarenga, medical doctor. It's important to know who's doing what, when, where, and at what time. And in the external examination, they covered some just basic information pertaining to Kenneka. Said that the body is clothed in a white bra top, blue denim jacket, blue jeans, and purple underwear. Accompanying the body is a left gray shoe, period. Cook County Morgue identification bands are on the bilateral great toes and right wrist. The body is that of a normally developed, well-nourished adult black female. The body weighs 159 pounds and is 66 inches in length and appears compatible with the report of the age 19 years. The body is cool following refrigeration. Rigor mortis is well developed and symmetrical in the upper and lower extremities, neck, and jaw. Fixed red-purple lividity is present on the left anterior and posterior surfaces of the body except in areas exposed to pressure. The body is well preserved and is not embalmed. Very important. That is just the preliminary review as they begin to commence the autopsy. They talked about long black hair is attached to the natural black scalp hair, which is braided. The eyes are closed. Long black false eyelashes are on the upper eyelids. The irides are brown. The corneas are clear, and etc., etc. No abnormalities pertaining to preliminary autopsy and its information as they begin. There is a section here. Try to isolate that, and it is paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. The upper and lower extremities are well developed and symmetrical. There are no bony deformities, pitting edema, or palpable fractures. The fingernails are covered by intact artificial nails covered by white nail polish. Toenails are covered by white nail polish as well. So let's get down to where I want to go with this. The identifying marks, such as tattoos, scars, and other identifying marks, is also given here. Tattoos documented photographically are on the lower right and left sides of the abdomen and back. Evidence of injury, number one, a half by 1/4 of an inch red purple irregular abrasion is on the right ankle, and a half by half inch ill-defined purple contusion is on the right leg. That's it. Internal examination, the body is opened by the usual incision, the Y-shaped incision, and the chest plate is removed, and so on. I wanted to get to the head because most people are under the impression that Kenneka was injured, bleeding on top of her head. In several videos and in several lives on YouTube. So let's go over the head just a little bit. Scalp is incised and reflected in the usual manner. The intrascalp and subscalp regions have no contusions or hemorrhages, meaning that there's no bleeding internally or externally when they examined her head. Okay. And you can read on during a pause of the live video. You can read on because I'm going to go slow here. Neck area, the cardiovascular system, as well as the respiratory system, hepatobiliary system, alimentary system, genitourinary system, hemolymphatic system, the endocrine system, and the musculoskeletal system is without irregularities, according to the medical doctor who performed the autopsy. Now, they said something about the thymus gland in this autopsy as not being present. Which is very, very important. In the autopsy, let me go back down. I went too far. Okay. And I'm only doing this so that this way, when you can go back over the video, you can actually see line for line what the autopsy is revealing, just in case you're not able to get the download off of my channel. But you'll be able to read it for yourself. The esophagus is lined by gray pink, smooth mucus. The gastric mucus is slightly autolyzed and normally regulated. There are scattered punctuates to 0.3 centimeters black, flat lesions on the gastric mucus or mucosa. The lumen contains trace mucoid materials. No tablets or capsules are noted. The small and large intestines are unremarkable. Externally, the appendix is present, and so on. I wanted to get down to the point of bringing the autopsy back up because this is an important area. Pathological findings. In part 7, oh, let me go back. Specimens submitted. Specimens submitted. Very interesting area in which the autopsy takes us by the forensic pathology fellow, the doctor who performed the autopsy. Specimens submitted. Number 1, DNA stain cards is retained. Okay. Number 2, samples of vitreous fluids, central bloods, peripheral bloods, bile, and urine are submitted to toxicology laboratory for analysis. Well, good, because we want to know what's going on the inside of her system. Number 3, sections of various organs are submitted for microscopic analysis. And here's where we get to number 4. Number 4 states that sections of organs are retained. So there's no more question from anyone regarding Kenneka Jenkins's organs after autopsy that they were able to retain, meaning keep, specific organs. What they kept has not been stated in the autopsy, unfortunately. However, making mention that sections of organs are retained states that there were organs that were kept. Pathological findings. We talked about the pathological findings being cold exposure, ethanol and topiramate intoxications, superficial blunt force injuries, cerebral edema nonspecific, and a pilobit right lung. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this case, after 2 weeks after collecting Kenneka Jenkins's body from the crime scene, it took them 2 weeks to come back with an inconclusive autopsy. Now, that is the question. Why is it? Why did they take 2 weeks to perform this autopsy from the 10th and not come back with with a conclusive findings as to her hypothermia, the dopamine in her system, the ethanol in her bloodstream, etc. Why would it take 2 weeks? Autopsy of this nature should not have taken 2 weeks. Hypothermia should have been identified right away as the cause of death in this case. I'm not a medical doctor or studied any kind of medical whatsoever, but I'm reading the autopsy like anyone else would read the autopsy, like Teresa Martin would read the autopsy. And you could see this autopsy is not a fully completed autopsy based upon the findings, the pathological findings that they're giving us here, because it doesn't take 2 weeks to state that this autopsy was inconclusive to finding hypothermia. The body temperature was never taken. Stomach contents was never revealed in this autopsy. There were a lot of inconsistencies in the findings within the body of the autopsy based upon the other findings that we found in the crime scene photos, such as the busted lip, the swelling of the head and face, the swelling of the body. In fact, if you were able to zoom in and take a very careful look, stomach region, which is swollen, such as the abdominal region, especially where her belly button jewelry was, etc. So you're going to find that the pathological findings in this autopsy, I believe to this day, and it's just me, are still inconclusive because they did not add any of the inconsistencies that were found at the crime scene. None. Especially when we go to item number 4 in the pathological findings of the cerebral edema. I pointed out in my video part 7 as to what cerebral edema is, what causes it, and why didn't the doctor who performed this autopsy give a description as to the cause of cerebral edema. When in an autopsy, that should have been the easiest thing to determine. It wasn't. And if you go to the video that I did, part 7, that explains what cerebral edema is, what causes it, and you'll find out that Kenneka was injured during the time, and at the time, she was at the Crown Plaza Hotel before she was placed in the freezer. The evidence of that is conclusive, and you'll be able to see it in the crime scene photos. Now, the opinion of the doctor was very interesting. I wanted to cover with you because Kenneka suffered trauma at the Crown Plaza Hotel, bar none, hands down. There was a traumatic event that happened to Kenneka at the Crown Plaza Hotel on September the 9th of 2017. Bar none. Even though the autopsy is stating that there were no other irregularities whatsoever, and that there were no other traumatic Indications, both internally or externally, in this autopsy? Overall, there was a traumatic event. Nika suffered from that. The cerebral edema to her head and facial area, and down across the shoulders and down toward the abdomen of her body, all indicate that she was edematous in those areas. Swelling occurred in those areas, dramatic swelling. But here in the doctor's opinion, and this is critical to note, as the doctor begins their opinion, this 19-year-old Black female, Kenneka L. Jenkins, died of hyperthermia due to cold exposure in a walk-in freezer, period. Ethanol and topiramate intoxications were significant contributing factors in her death. That's what the doctor said. But now, as you go to paragraph 2 and 3 and 4, here in the opinion, you will find that according to the investigation by the Rosemont Police Department, this is what she said. The decedent was found unresponsive in the freezer of a walk-in dual compartment cooler and freezer unit, which was located in an unused kitchen of the hotel. Police and emergency medical personnel determined that the decedent was dead at the scene. Now, that is from the Rosemont Police Department. Once again, video surveillance recorded the decedent entering the kitchen alone at approximately 0332 hours or 332 on September the 9th, 2017. But recordings did not clearly show her entering the hotel walk-in dual compartment cooler and freezer unit. She was discovered unresponsive in the freezer approximately 21 hours after she was documented entering the kitchen. Now, that is from the Rosemont Police Department, not from the medical doctor that's performing an autopsy. How can an autopsy tell you that that's what happened? Video surveillance footage? Autopsy concerning Kenneka? It's not going to tell you that. She's laying down on a table before you for you to do a physical and biological examination of her body. Where on earth would a forensic pathology fellow come up with video surveillance recorded in the autopsy? Not unless she was informed by whom? The Rosemont Police Department. Go down again. Per investigation, once again, information from the Rosemont Police Department, she states the walk-in dual compartment cooler and freezer unit was operational, although not currently in use by the hotel. The doors of both the cooler and freezer had external handles that must be pulled to open, and both the doors were equipped with a circular, functional, internal door opening mechanism. How on earth could you tell that from an autopsy? But she did. Now, if you go down to the last line, which is number 5, now she states at autopsy. Now she's stating a fact which is before her in the autopsy. At autopsy, the body was not frozen. So Kenneka was not frozen. You get it, people? Kenneka was not frozen. The stomach demonstrated Wisniewski lesions and the brain was edematous, swollen. This is her opinion. Now, this is the medical doctor's opinion, not the crime scene's opinion, the medical doctor. The autopsy did not reveal any trauma that would have caused or contributed to her death. No trauma. A superficial abrasion was scrape was on the right ankle, and a contusion bruise was on the right leg. There was no other evidence of external or internal trauma, and that is how she left it. So, out of this autopsy, if we're taking a look at paragraph 5, from the opinion of the doctor, this was the only portion of the autopsy where she did her job. The rest of it came from the Rosemont Police Department. You read it like I've read it. Where do we get video surveillance footage and all this stuff in an autopsy? Just think about it. Postmortem toxicology was remarkable for ethanol alcohol, which was identified in the peripheral blood at a concentration of 112 milligrams, and in the vitreous humor at a concentration of 157 milligrams. Topiramate was also identified in the peripheral blood at a concentration of 3,000 nanograms. This drug can cause increased somnolence, impaired memory and concentration, poor coordination, confusion, and impaired judgment. Central nervous system depression combined with cold exposure can hasten the onset of hypothermia and death. Let me tell you something about what that 3,000 nanograms of topiramate is all about. When you take a look at that number, it looks like a very big number, 3,000 nanograms of topiramate. It's a big number. And it can be a very influential factor in what we're reading, and which obviously it has been. However, you can call real simple your doctor, your physical physician, or a pharmacist in this case, and talk to them about what 3,000 nanograms in terms of a dosage of any prescribed drug is in terms of the amount. And you know what they'll tell you? It is less, far less than 0.003 or less than half of 1 milligram total. Total. So 3,000 nanograms of topiramate would be equivalent to maybe 30 independent grains of sugar on your table by itself. 3,000 nanograms. Believe it or not. But yet, in the autopsy, they had expounded topiramate in such a way it makes us all believe that with the alcohol that she had ingested, along with this drug called topiramate, which she wasn't prescribed to take this drug or have this drug or wasn't taking this drug at all, this could not have even caused any kind of extra or peripheral damage in terms of her cognitive abilities to perform. Now, that which added to alcohol, obviously the alcohol, the Hennessy that she had, and I think definitely believe she had more than one cup, definitely added to her inebriation more so than the topiramate that they make this drug out to be in the autopsy, because it is of such uh, minute existence within her system. But yet they made it such a big deal in reference to the autopsy and the toxicology report. Incredible, but we got to be real. And that's why I want to make sure that we cover all the information, especially on my channel, in reference to this case, to where we cover not just the videos and not just the narratives and not just the crime scene photos. We want to know what the autopsy stated, and which we have here. And I'm going to go over the toxicology report because that is going to blow your mind. So let's go to the toxicology report for a second. And then I think wow, I'm running my time. Anyway, cause of death, hypothermia due to cold exposure in a walk-in freezer with ethanol and topiramate intoxications as significant contributory conditions. Now that sounds like there was a whole bunch going on with Kenneka, when in actuality, it was just the ethanol, the alcohol, the amount of alcohol she drank, which had more going on with her than anything else. Manner of death, accident. This is what This is what the medical doctor who performed the autopsy on Kenneka judged all this information from. It was more so from the Rosemont Police Department's report to the medical examiner's office than the independent autopsy itself. My opinion. This was signed off on October the 6th. Now remember, they received Kenneka on September the 10th of 2017. Here, on October the 6th of 2017 is when they finalized this autopsy and turned it over to the Rosemont Police Department on October 14th, a copy of it. And this was also supervised by Kirsten Escobar Alvarenga, MD, Assistant Medical Examiner. So all this medical doctor did was just sign off on what the trainee doing a fellowship at the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office during the year of 2017 had performed on Kenneka Jenkins. They just signed off on what a trainee's findings were doing an autopsy. Wonderful. Let's go to the toxicology report, which was sent out on the same day, on September the 10th of 2017, to NMS Laboratories, which received specimens from the autopsy. This was stated as confidential, and this went out to Pennsylvania, Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And these laboratories, on the date that it was reported, September 27th of 2017 at 9 o'clock, whether it be AM or PM. Last reported issue was at September 23rd of 2017 at 13:01, which was just 1 minute after 1 in the afternoon. And the patient's name is Kenneka Jenkins. Obviously, the patient's ID, the chain report, the age, date of birth, gender, and work order number. And here, out of the first page out of 4, this was delivered to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office to the attention of Dr. Imad Zachariah at 2121 West Harrington Street, Chicago, Illinois. And the positive findings of ethanol, blood alcohol content, concentration, caffeine, and topiramate was found as positive findings. The detailed findings section for additional information. Well, as we went down this toxicology report, we know that she was screened for a date rape drug. As we go to testing requested, analysis code description, we go to the first code, and it says gamma hydroxybutyric acid screen, comma, blood which is for date rapes. The next one was postmortem expanded blood, which was for the alcohol in the blood, and the urine screen, which was for the urine toxicology sample. So there are 1, 2, 3 samples here under the analysis code. Specimens received in a tube container obviously was the peripheral blood under the matrix source, and that was done on 9/10/2017. 8.75 milliliters was recorded in the peripheral blood, as well as 10 milliliters on September 10th, 2017 of urine. And these items were tested for toxicology examination. Out of the detailed findings on page 2, you will find the analysis and comment. And the analysis and comment stated that they found ethanol at 112 milligrams. The report limit is 10 in the peripheral blood, and it was done by Headspace GC. The blood alcohol concentration at 112 was confirmed, done by the same outsource. Caffeine was positive. Topiramate at 3,000 nanograms. The reporting limit was at 200, and that was found in the peripheral blood. And ethanol confirmed as such. So now, the reference comments are telling you exactly what the substance is called caffeine, ethanol, topiramate, and the effects of the substance found. And that's what you'll find in the reference comments. As we go down, and this was signed off by Denise M. Team, certified scientist. Now, this work order was completed, and the summary report that was done, and the final. And this was most interesting. I want you to take a careful look at the final. We're almost done, folks. This should blow your mind. The summary, final report of the toxicology report states what was in her system. Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what the confirmed positives are in this report? What are the confirmed positives in the report? Can you see it? I hope so. We have Kenneka Jenkins, and this report, autopsy date 9/10/2017, report date of September 27, 2017. Pathologist is Kirsten Howell. Tox case 17-3579, gender female, race black, age 19. What is the confirmed positives stated here? All right, okay. Let me move my arrow around so you can see it. Right here. Can you see it? What are the confirmed positives and screens of this final toxicology report? Answer, none. There are no confirmed positives in this final toxicology report that was done September 27th of 2017. Why is that? The subcontracted tests that were done such as the urine and the postmortem toxicology. Those results were in, along with the GHB results for date rape drugs. However, there were no confirmed positives in the final report. No topiramate, no ethanol, nothing, nothing. No, that's right, zero, Machiavelli, zero. That's right, Leah, none. Now, this was the 27th of September, and this was signed off by the lab director, Zachariah Imad, on September 27th of 2017. There are no footnotes or test panels, nothing else. None. Now, miraculously, next up, from the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, after receiving the toxicology report from NMS Laboratories, which we all read together, they come up with an amended final toxicology report dated on October the 6th. Excuse me, October the 5th. I'm sorry. A week later. Now, can you see what the confirmed positives are on the screen? What does it say? What does the confirmed positive say? Miraculously, now the confirmed positives were for ethanol only and not topiramate in the amended final toxicology report. Yeah, that's right, Kimberly. That's right, Machiavelli. Reseda, Little Mom, Linda Truman, ethanol. Just ethanol. Just ethanol. This is why it's so important to do this research. Subcontracted test remained the same. And now this was signed off again, a second time, by the same lab director, Imad Zakari. And now the date is October. Hence, that tells you that there's something wrong with the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office receiving toxicology reports from outsourced uh, resources. And I'm sure Teresa Martin has a copy of this. She should, because she had a second one done, which she never received a complete autopsy and toxicology report still to this day. She didn't get Kenneka's clothes back. She didn't get her phone back. She didn't get her sneakers back. She got no personal items back. In fact, those items that were given to her during the death investigation by the Rosemont Police Department, she was ordered to give back. And she did. And hence her post on Facebook stating that they never returned any of Kenneka Jenkins's items back to Teresa. Nothing. And it's sad to even say something like this on authorities that she trusted during this whole time, this whole investigation, all the way up to the medical examiner's office and the toxicology contracted resource that did the work, only to end up with what we just believe it or not. I will be posting both the autopsy and the toxicology report, the description, as well as additional information for your review and education. I want everyone on page 1 of this case. We're taking no more false statements. We're taking no more false claims, no more false narratives, no more false anything. We're going to check this baby out until this thing goes to trial, in which it is. Period. End of story. So whoever comes out with another story or another video that we haven't seen or another whatever the hell other that they come out with, we're gonna break this. We're gonna break that sucker down. Anyone that can corroborate a statement, then we'll hold that to be true. No one who steps forward that makes a statement doesn't count. That's how we hold this case. That's what we've done from day one. The only thing that's going to work are the facts in this case. Nothing hypothetical. Going forward, the only thing that counts are the facts. Period. I covered this information with you tonight because it's important. I know I took a little bit of extra time to get here, but we're here now. And the next step going forward is, well, we keep our eyes open, we keep our ears open, we keep our hearts open, we keep our mind open, yes. But I say this, and I say it clearly, and no one can misunderstand these words. Trust, but verify. Trust, but verify. That's the only thing that'll make sense out of this case. We've got hardworking YouTubers, such as the content creators that I've mentioned, working hard and diligently hard to try to get to the facts in this case. We don't need no more smoke and mirrors. So anybody that comes out with smoke, I want you to challenge them. Where is your receipt before you believe anything going forward? Okay? I say that out of love and out of, like I said, concerned as a parent myself. I would want to know the truth. Don't you? So tonight we've covered a large portion of information. I hope it helps. As in any of the information that I've come out with and shared with you and provided you with either through video or through my lives, helps this case to move forward. We're working on it. We're working on getting the video surveillance footage authenticated so we know what we're looking at. We're tired of the edited stuff. So we're going to get the real stuff. And it's already in motion. Thanks to Amp Easy and a number of other YouTubers out there, Jackie Dragon, etc., etc. Content creators that I'm working with are working. And we're coming together. And we're going to make some sense out of this whole thing. And before it's over, we'll have all of what we need on the table, as it should be. As it should be. As it should be. I got one more surprise um, that I wanted to give you in closing tonight. Thank you so much, all of you, for sticking with me. It's been a hard case. This has been tough for us all, but we're getting to it, and we're getting through it, and we're going to get to the bottom because we're digging at it, we're looking at it, and we're breaking it apart piece by piece because it's got to make sense in order for it to be true. Got to make sense. See if I can get this back up here. There we go. I wanted to let you know that I'll be doing a special live tomorrow night. I'm coming back to back with another live tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's live is going to begin the content creators' lives that I'm looking to do with content creators. I've been speaking back to back to back to back to back, email to email, comment to comment with a lot of content creators, and they want to step out. They want to talk not only with me, but they want to talk about their experiences concerning this case. And so tomorrow night, I have sincerely, with deep appreciation and love, I have a content creator that's been on this case since we met. And that content creator is Malika the Warrior, who has given me the okay and thumbs up to get together with her on my platform to do a live in regards to the Kenneka Jenkins case and her experience and how she investigated this case and the information that she was able to find pertaining to the gangs of Chicago, which are a very important part of this case. She was able to find absolutely incredible information regarding the gangs I couldn't even touch. She spent 6 months investigating the different gangs and sets of gangs in Chicago, north, east, west, and south. And she was able to put together on her platform information that no other YouTuber has really ever touched in this case. More or less did a good live or a real good video on, other than Malika the Warrior. And I am very proud to stand with her and very proud to know that meeting her and joining her on her platform pertaining to this case would only bring me to where I am today. And so, with the friendship, the love, the assistance and support, and the help that Malika has given not only her audience, but to me personally, I would not be on my platform here with you tonight. A woman is a warrior, and she has much love for not only Kenneka, but for all of us individuals, family members, people who have families. And I thank God that I was blessed with getting to know her and getting to truly understand what she's about, what she stands for, and the justice that she knows that she can deliver. So Tomorrow night, I will be doing a special live with Malika the Warrior. I spoke with her earlier yesterday and today. She is a little under the weather. She did have a trip out of town to visit relatives that weren't in let's just say under the weather. And hopefully, I will be touching base with her tomorrow early in the morning just to confirm that we have a live tomorrow night. So I ask each and every single one of you to join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. once again to do a special live with Malika the Warrior, who's going to come out and share a lot of information and any updates pertaining to her individual and private investigation on the Kenneka Jenkins case. I wanted to bring that to you to let you know that I will be getting together and connecting with content creators to come on my platform and share their information and their experience in their investigation and where we're all headed to a point in this investigation together. So with that said, I know I haven't been reading the chat. I've been talking all night. I think I'll stay an extra 5 minutes to begin reading some of your comments. And as I said, I hope that the information that I've provided you with tonight is helpful and that we move forward together as a family, a social media family, a movement, not only for Kenneka Jenkins, but a movement for future cases like this. Because together I believe that we can do much more than just sit behind our computers and just have these things entertain us in ways that that we sometimes have not an idea as to why we're here. You know, but much love to you, Boss Blake. Leah Power, thank you for moderating tonight. You've done an excellent, sensational job. Much love to Leah Power for hanging with me. I know it's tough, but when I come out with it, I'll bring it. Much love to Black Diamond. I've been watching you, Black Diamond. I think you might be coming on board as a moderator. The Walsh, much love to you. Nubian Queen, much love to you. Stephanie Harden, I've seen your name pop up a dozen times every time I went live. Thank you, love, for your support. Diane Burdine, type of one in the chat. Type of one in the chat. Everybody had a good live tonight. Just let me know. Just let me know. Let me know if we did it. Let me know if we did it. David Dewberry, thank you, brother, for your love and support. The phone call that we had most recently. Yeah, type of one. Let's get some ones in there. Sweet P, Paula Taylor, Deborah Montgomery, PJ, Nubian Queen, Little Mama Nikki, DDD Entertainment, Brooke Valentine, CEO of another brand creation, Kimberly Love, Nika Mills, Feisty 60, Andrea Harris, Linda Truman, Machiavelli British, Connie Lockridge. Thank you all. And those that are sitting in the bushes, thank you for supporting us as well. This has been a journey for us all, but together we'll continue. Together we'll make a difference. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I'm just glad that the team that I have is making this dream possible. Not only for myself, but for Kenneka Jenkins, Teresa Martin and her family, and all of those that appreciate our love and support for justice, not only in this case, but in all cases that injustice tries to prevail. With that said, I look forward to getting back with you tomorrow night with Malika the Warrior, and it's going to be very entertaining to say the least. Much love to everyone. As I've always said at the close of my lives, be well and stay blessed. With Godspeed. I'm John Q. We'll be back. Much love. Take care.